look at just these 13 games as a whole, offensively as a team, where are you guys at compared to where you want to be?
I think we looked at the first 10 games. I haven't looked at the last 3 games to see where we rank overall, but I think at one point we were top 10 offense and defense. Then we had a little slide the last few games defensively. I think that's where we want to be. We want to be a top 10 offensive team and a top 10 defensive team, and I think that's a staple for having a really good season, winning a lot of games and getting the chance to win or play at home in the playoffs. But I think we've had some slippage. Obviously, we've had some changes in our roster and our starting lineups, and we've had some injuries and stuff like that. And we've had a tough schedule, but we got to be more consistent defensively, and I think that'll help our offense. But when you don't get stops and you got to play in half court, the pace is slower. There's a lot of things that go into that. But I think considering the circumstances, I think we're 7-6 right now. We got a little home standard where we could try to make some leeway, try to get some wins before we go back on the road.
What about particularly with that starting unit? What type of progress do you think you guys have made on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think we're getting better, getting more accustomed to spacing. Willy is doing a great job of changing up some of the flows of the offense and figuring out ways to put me off the ball, put Z on the ball, set screens, movement, and I think I'm doing a better job of calling games as of late. Pace has to be better. We got to do a better job of recognizing time and score, things like that, when to get a 2-for-1, et cetera. But considering we've had a lot of influxes and changes, I think that we've performed pretty well. We've got off to some slow starts. Outside of last night, I think we played pretty well in the first quarter, but we've gotten off to some slow starts and put our bench in tough spots. So we got to be better as a starting unit. We got to come out with more energy. We got to come out more efficiently with the way we play, with the way I play. And I think that'll help our bench be able to create more separation in games.
How different is that for you being the screener and pick and roll action? They're doing that more with you and Z, kind of you being the screener, him being the ball handler.
No, I think it's helpful for our offense in terms of spacing. Obviously, Z is a very talented player. He makes a lot of great decisions for us, but he's also a magnet in terms of the defense. You know, he's a guy who creates a lot of opportunities for other people because of teams having to recognize where he's at on the court. So I think that helps. Obviously, I can create space, we can create closeouts, and they have to kind of respect me and respect him, obviously, as a threat offensively. So I think that's something that we'll continue to get better at. I think he ran a lot of stuff with JJ where he was doing handoffs and things like that. And I think the next 68 games or whatever the case may be, I'll play better, I'll shoot better, and I think that'll open up our offense a lot in terms of spacing, but also in terms of driving angles for everybody else.
Is this where maybe they can lean into you as a guy who's been there and done that, understanding that it does take a little bit of time to figure out the roles and the gelling and things like that?
Yeah, it's an adjustment period for all of us that we're going through, and then we have to continue to adjust because there's injuries. There's things that are going to occur where our lineups are going to change. Coach has to adjust with the rotations because some guys that are coming off the bench may be starting. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to tinker with, but I think the more we play together, the more comfortable we get, and I think you see it in spurts. And as the season goes on, we'll be able to sustain those spurts for longer periods of time to where we'll play better basketball. It'll look better, spacing will be better, and we'll be more efficient with our movements. Right now, we're still trying to figure things out, just like a lot of the league. But for us, it's more spacing, getting used to each other, and then me figuring out what opportunities I should put us in offensively and then continue to talk with Willy about it.
And for you, just what are you saying as far as your shooting numbers, the shots you're getting? What do you think you have to do just to kind of get back to where you used to being in that area?
Yeah, I don't think I can shoot any worse than I've been shooting. So I think, you look at my career, how I've played, how I've shot historically. I think I'm due for some leveling out on open shots. But I think it's more so taking advantage of opportunities, picking my spots. I think I got some pretty good looks the last couple of games. Very makeable shots. I just didn't make them. But it's more about getting the reps in, and I like the flow of the offense. I like the amount of assists we're getting per game. I like the way we're playing. And my job is to do a lot of different things. I think obviously scoring is a big part of who I am as a player, and I will be able to do that, and I will make shots. But I got to be good at the other things as well for us to have success in the postseason. I got to be defending. I got to be vocal. I got to be a leader. I got to be able to put us in the right spots. I can't be turning the ball over. So it's the little stuff that I'm really working on. Offense, I'm not too worried about it because I work on my craft. I get in here at night. I do what I'm supposed to do. So I just keep swimming. And you've seen all versions of me at this point. I think it's safe to say that. So I'm comfortable with who I am and what I have to offer as a player. And I think I just focus on the work, and hopefully I feel a little bit better physically, and I think that'll translate to the game.
I know last game it was a point of emphasis to get you next to Jose and have you guys play together a little bit more. Do you think that helps you as well on that end?
I like Jose a lot. I like the way he plays. I love his energy. I love the way he works. He pushes tempo. we look for each other, but it's also, you know, a different look for the other team, right? Like we can both guard a lot of different positions. He's going to be a pesky defender. We can both handle the ball. We can both initiate the offense, and he's not afraid to take and make big shots. So I think that's what we need. We need guys that are going to compete, and I think he brings that different dynamic to us. And I don't know what our plus minus is, but I would imagine it's pretty good, and that's with me not making any shots. So imagine when I start helping him and being more of a floor spacer for us offensively. I think the game will get easier, and we'll be able to go on more runs and create more separation as a team.
CJ, would you say that Jose is one of the best spark plugs in the team, considering his role?
Absolutely. He brings energy. Obviously, the crowd loves him. It's infectious, the way he plays, the way he pushes. He gets to the basket. He tries to create, you know, for others, and obviously he knows how to hide on defense and create havoc there. So I think it's a lot of different stuff that he brings to us. But I think the story is great, right? Undrafted, the way he's worked and continued to refine himself as a player. I think that's really important. That speaks to his character, but also his work ethic.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.